Hey guys, welcome to Magic Monday.
Welcome.
I'm Davey
And I'm Tracy, and
from daveyandtracy.com. No, I have actually my iPad here, which is going to be easier. So, I'm Davey.
And I'm Tracy.
From daveyandtracy.com. Welcome to Magic Monday. This is our weekly live stream where we talk about nature, magic, lunar astrology, and nature nature themed tarot and oracle cards. And our goal through this is to inspire you to create your own rituals and connect with nature to restore balance and harmony and
calm. Harmony and calm.
Emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. So I'm just going to refresh this real quick because I want to pull this up on my iPad here so I can see the comments. Looks like Sarah's on.
Yeah.
So we're doing things a little differently this week. As you'll notice, we are back on Facebook.
Woo-hoo.
And Tracy and I made the decision to live stream this on our group again because we just felt like it was, after being on YouTube for a bit, we're still going to post these on YouTube. We're going to post recordings on YouTube, but we decided that we're going to go back to being on the Facebook group because we felt it was a little more interactive and the comments have more longevity in our Facebook group.
Right.
So we really want to, build our.
I've got it right here.
Okay, cool. We really want our Facebook group to be.
No, Sarah's.
Oh, okay. We're on opposite sides today. Yeah, because this is a. I think Facebook kind of mirrors it, so the cards might be backwards today. So we'll have to look into this.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're still kind of working out these kinks too, because like the way that Facebook does it, and I prefer to continue doing YouTube, but we felt that.
Yeah, like Dave said, the comments, we got a lot of interaction, but then the live comments, you have to go to a specific place to see them on YouTube. So then it looked like there was no comments.
Right.
And it was just sad to lose all those comments live. And I think we wanted more interaction in the actual group.
Well, we want to build a group into more of a community. So, the YouTube channel is more for outreach, and we have a lot of content that we have planned for that. But the Facebook group is really more of a community that we want to build. So we feel like this live stream really belongs here. And then we'll of course share the recordings to our YouTube channel, where they'll be archived and easy to find. So with that said, welcome. Good morning.
That's our announcement.
Yeah.
Ready to get started?
Yeah, let's light the candle first.
We made a bunch of smudge sticks this weekend, so our table is full of.
Yeah, if you probably saw the photo. Let me light the candle first. You probably saw the photo on Facebook. We posted in this group of the mugwort smudge sticks that we made. So yeah, we did a lot of herb crafting this week. I made mugwort infused oil. I made lavender infused oil. We made a burdock tincture with burdock root. So that was fun digging that up because burdock has a very long taproot, and where we live has clay soil, so it's no fun digging that up.
Yeah, dig it up.
But we dug it up, we peeled it, we sliced it, it's soaking in vodka right now to make a tincture, and I'm going to make a mugwort tincture, and it's just plant material. So I'm going to make a mugwort tincture, and there's a lot of herb crafting. It's definitely herb crafting season as we harvest everything. So we're lighting the candle. The September candle is wisdom, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, ready? So we're going to take 3 deep breaths in. We're just gonna imagine the smoke carrying away any sort of negative energy that you have. If you have something, go ahead and light it now, a smudge stick or sage, or if you have
a sprig of mugwort,
essential oil, anything that you have. I don't know if that really worked.
share what you're grateful for. Post in the comments, and if you're watching this recording on YouTube, post in the comments as well.
Yeah, we like hearing this. Posting gratitude definitely helps shift your energy. This smells really good. I will go first in gratitude.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I am grateful. This weekend. We had a really nice weekend. It was a little bit busy, but we went to a natural stone bridge and caves with our son, and we went early, so it really wasn't that busy, and it was nice to just connect to nature. And then we came back and we did a bunch of herb crafting, which was a lot of fun. Something David and I are trying to do together. He definitely does more of it, but I'm trying to work on it with him. And it's definitely, I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy crafting. And I think they came out really, really nice.
I'm grateful for time herb crafting this weekend. It was a lot of fun making the smudge sticks. I feel like we should show them.
I can grab them.
Yeah, grab one of each, and we'll show them what we made, just in case they didn't see the photos. And if they're on YouTube, they might not have. So I'm grateful for herb crafting with Tracy this weekend.
I don't see the one with right here.
Oh yeah, they might be in there. All right. I'm grateful that tomorrow's the first day of fall.
Yeah, Mabon. So we have a couple. So these ones have something, they have a purple flower that's kind of drying. Let's see right there. They have this.
And those are the ones with quartz.
The quartz.
So that's mugwort.
Yep, and then this is just also mugwort with. This doesn't have any extra purple flowers in it, but it has the crystal, the amethyst.
Yeah. And then we have some these that Tracy's going to show you are smudge sticks. They're made for the new moon in Libra that's coming up in October. So they're mugwort and goldenrod with a double terminated labradorite and a Libra charm on it.
Yeah, it's hard to see this.
So that smudge stick represents the balance of, it represents balance, the balance of moon, which is associated with, or the mugwort, which is associated with moon, and goldenrod, which is associated with the sun. So that balance of masculine and feminine energy, and that's what it represents.
Yeah. So that's what we did this weekend. We made a whole bunch of those. And the house smells great, and but
how do we get these comments? Oh, here we go.
Mugwort all over. Yeah, just.
How do we move this? How do we move it? So Sarah says, I'm grateful for letting the new kittens expand their domain, even if it meant not sleeping that great last night. I'm also grateful for learning about EFT tapping and experimenting with that. I'm grateful for paint by number kits for adults. I'm working on a bluebird one now. She said those are beautiful. The picture doesn't really show how big they are.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
They're big. I wasn't intending to make them that big, but
we had a lot of work. We're actually really blessed because the place that we stayed, normally we have to actually go harvest it. We have a particular place that we like to go to. But now we live by the river, and there's tons of it everywhere.
It was growing along the riverbank in the spring. We actually dug some up to save it from the weed whacker and moved it. And then we discovered there's still another patch over there. So we let it grow over the summer. So we have 2 patches of mugwort now that we're cultivating. Jen says, good morning. I'm grateful for the good time in Mexico and for being back home safe. I'm also grateful for the cooler weather and heading into autumn. I'm seeing some color in the leaves. Yeah, that was so cool, Jen. I really enjoyed seeing your pictures of, it looks like you guys were diving in cenotes, which is pretty cool. Tracy and I were in a cenote, not diving, but Tracy jumped in one. We have a video of her jumping, 15 feet into one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I miss the Yucatan.
It's a really pretty area.
The Yucatan has a place in my heart. I love it. It's one of my favorite places to be. Not that I'm a big world traveler or anything, but obviously we've lived there for 6 months and saw a lot of it, and I want to go back. I want to go back and take our kid.
Yeah, I showed him the pictures. Did you see the video of them cave diving? I showed our kiddo the cave diving.
Yeah,
videos.
I'm rarely on Facebook, so I need to go back and get those. But welcome back, Jen. Happy
Yes.
anniversary to
Yeah.
you. Because I think that was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And
But
I have to go back and see the rest of your videos and photos because like I said, I barely have 2 seconds to be on Facebook these days.
But we went out when we went to the natural caves at Stonebridge. There's a few. The leaves are kind of changing here. I've got my fall shirt on. He makes fun of me for this shirt.
Oh, she said it's a beautiful sacred place, and that reminded me when we went to the Yucatan. I'll talk about your lumberjack shirt in a second. When we went to the Yucatan for our honeymoon back in 2008, we went on this day trip where we actually toured a Mayan village and rappelled into a cenote. We rappelled in together, but before we went in, there was this, I don't know what you call him, like a Mayan, I don't want to say shaman because it's not really a term you apply to Mayan spiritual leaders, but he basically did some kind of smoke blessing ceremony with us before we went in, which was supposed to, that was before we went in or when we came out?
I think it was before we went in.
I think it was before we went in. So it wasn't just like a tourist kind of diving into a cenote kind of thing, but it was more of like an experience, and so that was kind of cool. And so he kind of like, I don't know what, like, I wasn't super into herbs at the time, and now I would have totally been like, what is he burning? Because like I didn't know what it was, but it was some like bundle of herbs and smoke, and he just kind of went around and kind of blessed each of us. And I think the point was that you had to enter the cenote from a place of purity, or you would bring something bad out with you when you came out, or something like that. So it was kind of cool to not only be in a cenote, but actually participate somewhat in the Mayan culture in doing that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I really want to get back to Mexico and bring our kiddo.
Yeah, I think you'd love it.
Yeah, I love the Yucatan. But welcome back, and it's so awesome that you guys had the chance to go diving there. Lumberjack shirt. I always joke about Tracy when she wears this shirt. I'm like, she should wear like an accessory axe. Like they should make accessory axes, like that'd be kind of.
I busted this shirt out this morning, and I said,
it's a good fall shirt, but I always picture like her having like a accessory hatchet just hanging on her belt when she wears that shirt.
Yeah. Anyways, moon phases.
Anyway, Tracy's like, let's move this along. All right. So, they also use copal for incense, and it smells so nice. Yeah, I would like to actually.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's awesome for cutting trees down. No, it's I actually want to experiment using incense, like resin incenses, because you have to use the charcoal bricks, which I've never used before, the little charcoal things. Because I would like to actually burn copal and frankincense. And I actually, this late spring, I harvested some hard spruce resin off our spruce trees, and it smells wonderful. And so I'd like to figure out how to burn that. That's something that I just stuck it in my little mini cast iron cauldron and lit it with a lighter, and it smelled really nice. But it'd be nice to I need to actually get the little charcoal brick thingies that you use for incense, and I'd like to experiment with making my own incense blends. So that's probably going to be something that I work on this winter.
Doing a lot of herb crafting, winter crafting with oils.
Yeah.
All
right. Lunar forecast. So, right now we're in a waxing moon in Sagittarius. So the waxing moon is about manifestation and hustle. And Sagittarius is about focus, moderation, adventure, and getting out of your comfort zone. So, as far as adventure and things, Jen's definitely been embracing the Sagittarius. So right now, now's the time to just kind of, get focused on what you're working on right now, get focused on the task at hand, and it might mean, getting out of your comfort zone or, taking a little bit of a risk, and that's fine. Wednesday, we're going to be in the first quarter moon in Capricorn. So the first quarter moon is about balance and harmony. It's about I see the first quarter moon is that kind of like overcoming resistance. That's that point where you get from like the new moon is about manifestation and or intention and getting clear in your ideas, and then that waxing crescent is about that first initial push of action, that hustle and hope and motivation. But the first quarter is when obstacles tend to emerge, and that resistance, you kind of hit against that resistance. And so I see the first quarter moon as a period to reflect on that balance and overcoming the obstacles, overcoming that resistance. And a lot of times that resistance is ourselves. So that's something to be mindful of, going into Wednesday and on Wednesday about, what kind of things are pushing back against your intentions that you set for the new moon. And is this resistance coming from external sources? Is it our own resistance? And if it's external, what can we do to overcome that? Or if it's internal, what habits do we need to change? What thought patterns and emotional patterns do we need to disrupt so that we can continue on with what we set out to manifest for the new moon? Capricorn is associated, so it's going to be a first quarter moon in Capricorn on Wednesday. So Capricorn is a sign associated with long-term goals and structure. So definitely, things that we're working on for our future is going to be important to make sure that we are mindful of what is standing in our way, whether it's ourselves or some external force or both. A lot of times sometimes it's both. That's something that you should really take some time on middle of this week and sit down and journal about that. Jen says, I was also pushing my comfort zone, learning to cave dive, facing some fears. I know, I've seen videos of cave diving, and it seems like absolutely mind-blowingly stunning and absolutely terrifying at the same time. I can only imagine. Let's see. So by this weekend, we'll be in a waxing gibbous moon in the sign of Aquarius. So waxing gibbous moon is about refinement and endurance. That's when you kind of you start to overcome these obstacles. You are growing in power and strength, just as the moon is growing in its light. The light that it reflects from the sun. But Aquarius is associated with unconventional ideas and approaches, and as well as passion and love. So. To overcome your obstacles this week, you might need to embrace some unconventional ideas and unconventional approaches to it. So the standard, things that you always do to try to, get yourself motivated, get yourself over a hump might not work this week. You might need to think outside the box or get it out of your, if there's this crazy idea, this unconventional approach that you would normally dismiss and be like, nah, that's not going to work. Try it this weekend. So a couple other things happening this week. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the sun enters Libra, and it's also Mabon, which is the fall equinox. So Tracy and I have... I think this is our third Mabon. Since we started following the Wheel of the Year. We started following the Wheel of the Year, which is the 8 festivals that occur in 6-week increments throughout the year. The Neo-Pagan Wheel of the Year. We started following that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think so. And so this would be...
We don't follow it as much as we should. Oftentimes it's like, oh, it's tomorrow.
Well,
so we're trying to work more of it into...
low key with it. And I want to talk a little bit about that because we started with Mabon, so I kind of see as Mabon as my wheel anniversary. Right. And so
we kind of use it as a check-in for each festival. I mean, we try to check in daily with just different seasons and stuff like that, but sometimes it's nice to just remember like the harvest, and we definitely try to do something ceremonial with our child. That's a big thing. We try to do something as a family together.
Right. And so that's the thing with, you know, I do want to talk a little bit about Mabon, but, you know, I mean, it's okay to be low key, and it's okay if you can't celebrate on the day. You know, Tuesday's a difficult day to celebrate something because, you know, it's a school day and, you know, there's
work day.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why this weekend we went to, I told you, we went to the Natural Stone Virgin Caves this weekend. This weekend coming up, we're going to go to Sable Chasm. It's a big nature place where you hike, and they have a lot. So trying to get into nature. On Tuesday, I think we were talking about actually like making like a festival dinner. We're going to squash soup.
Yeah, like later this week, because
right.
Tuesday's probably not going to work for
us. Yeah,
us.
so you don't have to do it on necessarily the day as much as like around the time.
Well, and technically in our latitude, the equinox doesn't happen on Tuesday. The equinox happens, I think, it's going to be Thursday or Friday at our northern latitude here in upstate New York, where we actually get that 12-hour balance of light and dark. So, you know, a lot of people, when they celebrate these festivals on the Wheel of the Year, it's not so much important that you do it on the day or at the moment that, you know, we're at that equinox point. But in that general vicinity within that week, it's almost, and you could also think of it as seasonally too. Like Mabon is like a 6-week season that kind of leads from, you know, about now to Samhain, or, you know, just before Samhain. You know, Mabon is definitely not just a day and then every other day is normal. It's kind of like a season. So, you know, you can think of it that way. It's perfectly fine to celebrate Mabon on, you know, Thursday or Friday, or wait till this weekend if it makes makes it easier to do that. So Mabon, I just want to talk about Mabon real quick. So Mabon is a festival that's associated with harvest and gratitude. It's the second harvest festival after Lunasa, which happened August 2nd. So Mabon represents that balance of light and dark. We talked about that with the first quarter moon. Well, Mabon corresponds with the third quarter moon. So that's more of that setting boundaries and that balance between light and dark, moving into the winter, into the dark part of the year. So because it is a waning time, we're in the waning time of the year, Mabon is a good time to not only harvest, but also release what no longer serves you. And I like to think of Mabon as a time to clear space so that you have room to bring in what you're harvesting. So it kind of, that's also a balancing, you know, out with the old, in with the new, out with the old, in with the fresh. You know, so that's definitely a theme that I consider for Mabon. Also, just, you know, Mabon's the second time of the year where we're in that balance of light and dark, so it's a good time to think about and reflect on balance. Mabon is a time to prepare for the winter, you know, whether it's, you know, getting your furnace serviced or putting plastic on the windows, depending on, you know, where you live. You know, now's the kind of time where, or thinking about snow tires, you know, that's the kind of, Mabon's also the time of year where you just kind of check in and make sure that you're prepared for the winter months. For me, Mabon is a time for herb crafting, because, you know, this is the time when the garden is pretty much spent and done, and so we're harvesting the last of our vegetables, and you know, we're growing winter crops right now. And basically, you know, the mugwort bloomed, or the mugwort, I like to harvest mugwort just before it blooms. And so we harvest that about a week and a half ago. So, you know, I'm surrounded by mugwort and drying herbs and everything. And so it's definitely time of herb crafting. But Mabon is also, you know, time to, like last year what we did for Mabon, we made, I think Tracy mentioned this, we baked apple bread, I think.
No, this year we're gonna make apple bread. Last year we made the lemon poppy seed bread.
Right. So we made
because we couldn't get the apples.
We made bread. We made a butternut squash soup, which was absolutely delicious, and I want to find that recipe and make it this year. And then I always read. Can you get that on the middle shelf all the way to the left? I just want to show them that book real quick.
Which book?
The Moon and Moon Hair.
No. Okay. Jen commented that she wants to celebrate a little bit more. I'm trying to read it, but it's a long.
Yes, I sometimes wish I can celebrate more elaborately, but even going for a walk in the woods, crafting an altar. baking something or making a feast for dinner is the way to celebrate.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Well, that's the thing that I've been thinking about too, is like, Trace and I talk about nature-focused spirituality, and you think about like, oh, if I'm spiritual, I need to sit at my altar and I need to, do this and spend an hour in meditation, all that. You don't, because, nature-focused spirituality and mindfulness practice isn't about sitting, in a lotus position with a lit candle and crystals and following a certain prescribed ritual. Nature-focused spirituality is herb crafting. Making these smudge sticks is part of my practice. Growing herbs and gardening is part of my practice. Walking outside is part of my practice.
Getting outside and going to the nature walk that we did this weekend, that's part of the practice. And for me, crafting with Davey, it's something that it helps bring us together. Because we craft together, and then we just as we craft together, we make silly comments, and it just kind of brings us closer together. The crafting in outside in nature. It'd be interesting to see how it goes, because we've been doing a lot of it. I'm gonna say outside because it's beautiful, and the mug where it was very dry and it made a mess in the house. So I told Davey that we're making the rest of the smudge sticks outside.
No, but I like making smudge sticks outside.
I do too.
And I mean, as you see, our altar's not very Mabon-ish right now. It's still very summery. So, this weekend I want to get apple cider and get mini pumpkins, and, next week this should be a lot more fall looking. This is a book I wanted to show you. This is called Luna Moon Hair by Wendy Andrew. And this book,
it's great.
It's not just a children's book. You can definitely read it to children. I got it to read to Aiden. But this book takes you through the Wheel of the Year, through a hare, which is a symbol of... it's a very popular symbol in British paganism and Wicca.
Some of the images.
But basically, it's got 8 chapters for each one of the festivals on the Wheel of the Year. And she basically... it kind of follows that narrative of the Oak King and the Holly King, that battle between the two. So she carries the holly crown from the winter solstice or Yule to Letha summer solstice, and then carries the Oak King's crown to the winter solstice. Mm-hmm. So if you're not familiar, the Oak King and the Holly King are two dueling kings. The Holly King rules the dark half of the year, defeating the Oak King the Oak King defeats the Holly King at Yule and rules for the first half of the year, and the Holly King defeats the Oak King at the summer solstice and ushers in the dark, or the waning year. And so I like that mythology. I like that, I kind of, in my mind, I like that story that carries you through the year. And with Mabon, this is a time when the Oak King begins to regain his strength in preparation for the battle with the Holly King, which he will defeat at Yule. And so, in a way, I kind of like that, because I think okay, here we go. It's cold. It was 43 degrees when I took our kid to the school bus this morning, and I'm like, oh, it's cold. Winter's coming. But you can think okay, the Oak King is gaining strength. He's going to defeat the Holly King, bring in this warm weather soon. Never mind, it's 9 months away. But, it's just that little thought in my mind where it's oh, the Oak King's gaining strength. He's going to defeat the Holly King, and,
But yeah, it's a great little book, and we read it, and obviously not the whole thing, but we read it by each Sabbath to our child. And it's a great little way to also help him, think of it in smaller terms versus... because he's...
Jen's talking about canning, which is something that I really want to get into too. And that's the thing I was talking to Tracy yesterday too. I'd like to get into making my own cider. I'd like to get a small cider press, make my own cider, make some hard cider. I want to do more of that kind of stuff. Right now I've got a ton of herb crafting on my plate, and there's just so much I want to do. So right now I'm just kind of processing, going through the herbs. But I think next year I'd like to try to look into getting a cider press. I would like to do canning. Our veggie garden hasn't been as abundant this year, so I don't have anything really to can.
Well, I'd like to also swap out and do different veggies, because we did a lot of Davey really likes zucchini and summer squash.
So I
And we're
planted a
growing
ton
it
of it.
for some other people as well, and so he went abundant on those two crops, and so yeah, the rest of us were kind of like, wow, more zucchini.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna do a little less of those, and so we're gonna do some swapping out with what we do for next year.
Yeah.
We want to start on the cards.
Yeah, let's do some animal wisdom.
You obviously shuffle these.
Yes.
Okay, I know.
I always
Ask you
do.
every time. All right, this is the Spirit of the Animal Oracle. The links to all these oracle cards and tarot deck are in the description. They're not in the description below because there's no description below this. We will add it after the live chat.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, the links will be in the description below. I don't know who got this one. Coyote. Revealer of the truth. I'm sorry, it's very dark in here and it's very curvy font. Don't take things too seriously. Make time to play. That is definitely some advice. Great wisdom comes from laughing at your own folly. Look out for the traps and tricks of life and learn from them. This is very true. And that's something that I think a lot of times as parents, I know this is something I struggle with. Our son is very playful. He's just turned 7. Everything is fun, from brushing his teeth to like getting dressed. Like everything is a time when you can laugh and be silly. And sometimes as parents, like I'm just like, I have these tasks to do and then we can play. And I'm trying to learn that balance of, getting tasks done, taking a break for play, and then going back to doing a little more tasks, taking another break, because I find if I do that throughout the day, I'm more as an interactive, happy parent. And just at the end of the day, I feel more fulfilled because there's always more tasks to do. No matter how many tasks you do, if you do it in these chunks, there's, at least for me, there's always more. And if I don't make time for that play, at the end of the day, I had no time to play. So this is a good reminder for me personally.
All right. Sarah has to hop off her work call. Thanks for joining us, Sarah. Hopefully you can catch the rest of this later. Plant wisdom, we have Stargazer Lily. And the keyword is surrender. And it says, Stargazer Lily is asking you to surrender to the unconditional love that the universe is flowing toward you. Let down the barriers surrounding your heart and surrender unloving thoughts about yourself to allow yourself to receive. You are always enough. So that's interesting because I was talking about, Autumn and Mabon being the ushering the waning half of the year. Well, I mean, we're in the waning half of the year. So it's a time of releasing and clearing space to bring in. I also talked about the first quarter moon, overcoming resistance and checking in with your thoughts and feelings and what you need to challenge so you can move forward. So the Stargazer Lily is definitely talking about surrendering unloving thoughts about yourself to allow yourself to receive. So that's something to think about this week and over the Mabon festival period, where you talk, check in with how you feel about yourself and the thoughts you have about yourself and the self-talk, and what needs to be cleared out so that you can receive more uplifting. What can you change from that negative self-talk to more positive self-talk? Let's do the tarot card, and we have the King. This is a green.
Deck.
This is a Green Witch tarot, which I absolutely love. I usually do this tarot on the festival days. So this isn't the one I use every day for everything, but this is my special occasion deck, and I love this one. This one's by Anne Mora. She has a series of books on green witchcraft, which I really enjoy. So the King of Pentacles is associated with that. It's kind of that energy of it kind of represents someone who is successful. They're at the top. They're enjoying the fruits of their labor, and it just kind of represents that successful, abundant kind of energy, or it could represent someone who embodies that, who could act like a mentor or guide. So this card coming up this week, in association with Revealer of Truth, with a coyote, and surrender, could be that something interfering with your ability to achieve that kind of, King of Pentacles life, King of Pentacles status, or the assistance from a King of Pentacles, someone who can help or guide you, might be your own negative self-talk. And taking things too seriously. So what I'm kind of seeing here is almost like, ease up on your own, just kind of ease up on things a little bit, and don't hold too tight, don't take things too seriously, and really check in with your internal dialogue. And that might open the door to move into that kind of King of Pentacles energy, where you're now thinking more clearly, you're more positive, and can, pursue and achieve success at what you're looking for. Or at the very least, you're putting that positive energy out there that's going to attract someone into your life who would be able to give you that advice or that nudge in the right direction that you need. So, it's something to keep in mind this week.
Okay. I think it's time to do our ending meditation, unless anyone has anything else. So,
yeah.
All right. Going to do our ending calming meditation. For all of today, I will love. For all of today, I will trust. For all of today, I will be true to myself. For all of today, I will give thanks for my many blessings. For all of today, I will be kind to my neighbor and every living thing. So we take 3 deep breaths in. Thank you for joining us. Let us know whether you like it on Facebook, the live chat. Again, we will be posting the video on YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, please share your gratitude if you're watching the replay. We love hearing what you guys are grateful for.
Comment, like, subscribe.
Yes, comment, like, subscribe if you are on YouTube. Also, sign up for our newsletter. We are going to be having something special coming up soon. I know we've been saying that for a while, but we're finally on the tail end of this creation. So our newsletter is sort of an expansion of what we talk about here. So please sign up for the newsletter. It's daveandtracy.com/naturemagick, magic with a K. I'm going to go prepare to sign off. If you want to chat about your tarot reading quickly.
Yep. Yeah, I do tarot reading as well. I'd love to do a reading for you guys. You can book a session with me at daveandtracy.com/tarot and what I do is I not only read tarot, but I also incorporate the moon phase and plant animal wisdom, kind of like what you see me do here, but a lot more in depth. So if you're interested in getting that level reading with me, you can do that on our website. And yeah, again, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Monday at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Happy Mabon, happy first quarter moon, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.